Hey everybody, welcome back to Chatting with Chops. My name is Karen and I make fun and entertaining videos that might teach you something. Today we're going to make a basic vegan cocoa cookie. It's a super easy recipe that you can change and evolve it to whatever you're looking for it to be. It can be lower calorie, you can put lots of other type of ingredients in it. It can be vegan, or you can use regular milk-based ingredients should you choose to. But let's get started. We're going to make the basic vegan cocoa cookie I was telling you about. This recipe has been changed a great deal. It's a regular, it used to be called an eggless cocoa cookie, but I've changed it because we've changed a lot of the ingredients. I will definitely link the recipe down below where you can change it how you see fit. The first thing that you want to start off with is 1/4 of a cup of margarine. I start off with plant-based butter, but again, you can use regular butter in this as well. The next thing you want to put in is your oil, which is 2 tablespoons of oil. We use olive oil just because it's what we like to use more in this house. And you will see that I'm using a KitchenAid mixer. You can use, pretty much you can do it by hand if you need to. The next thing to add is the sugar. We use stevia as well as regular sugar. So you would do, the recipe asks for 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So I do 1/4 and 1/8 of each type of sugar. So you have 1/4 plus 1/8 of the stevia, and then you would do 1/4 plus 1/8 of whatever other type of sugar that you like to use. And obviously you can use stevia for the whole thing should you choose to. And then the next thing it asks for is 1 tablespoon of water. And I just have a little cup of water I like to keep. So you put that in there. And then it basically tells you should cream this until it's light and fluffy. Okay. Asked you to cream until it was light and fluffy, and I don't know if you can see that really well or not, but that is about as light and fluffy as I think it's going to get. So the next thing it wants you to do is to mix the dry ingredients, and that's basically, the recipe asks for you to put salt in it, but we don't normally add salt in our recipe unless it's absolutely necessary. And I don't really feel like this recipe it's necessary. It hasn't caused any problems with the turnout of the recipe. So the next thing it wants you to do is 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And then 1 cup of flour. And we use wheat flour just because it's healthier and it's a little bit more calories, but it's definitely got a healthier aspect to it. But you can really use, as far as I know, any kind of flour that you might like to use. I will say I've only ever tried it with the all-purpose flour and then the wheat flour. And then it wants you to put 1/3 a cup of cocoa. And really that's the only chocolate that's added to this recipe. And you can use as fancy a cocoa as you want to. I just use the regular baking unsweetened cocoa powder. Okay. I'm right at the end of that box, so I'm going to tap the rest of that in. And then you would just mix that up a little bit, just so that all your ingredients are together. So you've mixed in your margarine, oil, sugar, and 1 tablespoon of water. Now you're going to want to mix in the remaining, it says 2 to 3 tablespoons of water and beat well. I like to add 4 tablespoons just because it makes the cookies a little bit wetter. Alright, so at this point you've mixed your dry ingredients in and into your regular mixture. And so at this point, you're basically just going to take and put it in the fridge and let it chill for about 30 minutes to an hour, just to kind of let everything solidify. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this is an excellent cookie if you should want to add, or you know, you can make it as healthy as you want to, or you can really making it as decadent as you want to. You can add peanut butter chips, you could add coconut. I mean, obviously if you didn't want to leave it as a vegan cookie, you could add a lot of non-plant-based ingredients into it. I really leave it as the recipe that I'll put down below. I have added some coconut in it before, and I'm sure that if you could find some vegan peanut butter chips, those would be excellent as well. But for the most part, it's really low calorie if you leave it pretty basic. But again, if that's not what you're looking for, then you can always zest it up a bit. And that's kind of what it looks like before you put it in the fridge. But like I said, you chill it for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then we'll come back and we'll get them ready to cook. So we have let the cookie dough sit in the fridge for about an hour, so it's a lot firmer than it was when we first put it in. And at this point, you just want to roll them into little balls to whatever size you want for your cookie. They don't spread like regular cookies, obviously, because they've been put in the fridge. So you don't have to worry about them being too close together on the cookie sheet. You can preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And like I said, just roll them out and make them the size that you want. And I do have a curious question though. While you're waiting for your oven to preheat, while you're making cookies, or while you're waiting for your cookies to bake, are there certain tasks around the kitchen that you do, or are there certain activities that you have a tendency to do while you're waiting? Like sometimes I'll do fold laundry, or cleaning up the kitchen, or just doing various other activities. I'd be curious for you to put in the comments down below what kind of things you find yourself doing while you're waiting for things to bake, or that kind of thing. But yep, just roll these up and we'll bake them for 10 minutes. Alright, so we have the first batch of cookies out of the oven. Again, you cooked them for 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. I've been told that because they have no egg in them, that's what makes them crack like that. And that's as big as they get. I like to leave them on the plate for 5 minutes just to let them cool off on the baking sheet, and then after that move them to a cooling rack. So again, cook them for about 10 minutes and then leave them on the baking sheet for 5 so that they'll have a chance to cool off, and then you can move them onto just a regular cooling rack from there. Alright everybody, we're all finished with the vegan cocoa cookies. They made about 30 of them, and like I said, you can make this as a vegan friendly or as a regular recipe if you'd like to. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Please like and subscribe and put down any future videos you'd like to see down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.